All right, people of God, we're gonna go ahead and get into this chicken fried rice by seasoning our chicken with some Slap Your Mama. Y'all know I put that literally on everything. And I cut my chicken breast into cubes big enough so that I can actually know that it's chicken and not rice. And I'm gonna add some adobo with cumin. I love the seasoning with the chicken fried rice. I don't know why, it just does something. It gives it that oomph. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some ginger, ground ginger, on the chicken breast. And I'm gonna add some garlic powder. Y'all, season y'all meat. Don't be putting no pinch of this, pinch of this. Put some garlic powder on there. Put some ginger powder on there. All right, we're gonna add some black pepper. You see that? That's how you season meat. You should be able to see the seasoning. Your seasoning should not be invisible. All right, and that is about a tablespoon of brown sugar, which is gonna give it a nice little sweet note. And add some chili sriracha sauce, because that's gonna give it a nice little spicy note. And oh, okay. And then also that brown sugar is gonna caramelize that chicken once it hits that wok, and that oil is gonna caramelize that chicken really nice and pretty, which is what you want. Brown food is good food. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a stir. Make sure that all of our seasonings is incorporated, and you also want to make sure that that brown sugar coats every piece of meat, because you want caramelization on every piece of meat. Alrighty, that looks good and coated. Now we're gonna set this to the side, and we're gonna make our garlic butter that we use for our fried rice. Yes, garlic butter. So I get about a half a stick of butter, add some Slap Your Mama seasoning first. Yes, like I said, I put this in everything, so get used to it. And then we're gonna add some black pepper. We're gonna add some garlic powder. And go ahead and put some garlic powder in there. It is garlic butter. We're gonna add some ground ginger. And if I had some fresh ginger, I would have added some fresh ginger as well. And now we're gonna go ahead and mash that into our butter to make a seasoned butter. If y'all see that butter that the hibachi restaurants be putting on their noodles and fried rice, it's garlic butter. So that's what we're gonna do. And yes, I'm that person that goes to the hibachi restaurant and asks for extra garlic butter, because that's what I like. All right, now we're at our wok. We're gonna go ahead and add some stir-fry oil. Usually I add sesame seed oil with a little olive oil or vegetable oil, but I didn't have any sesame seed oil and could not find any, so I used a stir-fry oil. Gotta use what you got. And we're gonna go ahead and switch that around to make sure that that wok is covered so the chicken won't stick. Ooh, I love that sound of sizzle, because that sizzle means brown food. And we like brown food. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic butter into this chicken. And we're gonna go ahead, stir it up, and let that cook. And if you notice, I kind of stopped stirring it and let the chicken do what it do, because you will never get caramelization if you continuously stir your food. You gotta let it sit for a little bit to get that brownness. And I did add a cap full of vegetable oil. Usually I would have did that before I put the chicken in, but slipped my mind, so just went on to add that in there. Also, it's important when you're cooking food to make sure your skillet is hot before you put the oil in. Make sure your oil is hot before you put the food in. Because putting cold meat or room temperature meat, whatever you have, into a room temperature pan and room temperature oil, it does not make brown food. Alright, we're gonna go ahead, mix it one more time to make sure none of the chicken is sticking. And then we're just gonna let this sit and brown until it turns that nice golden caramelized brown that we all want. Alright, y'all, it's been sitting in that wok for a little bit, so we're going to give it a stir so that the chicken won't start sticking. But that's getting nice and caramelized in that wok, and that's exactly what you want. Those nice, good brown nuggets add so much flavor. Now remember, things happen fast in the wok because your heat should be on high. So my heat in my wok is always on high. And yes, that brown piece right there is life. And so I put my chicken to the side and I washed off my wok because you don't want those little brown bits in there because the rice will stick to it. And I added some stir fry oil in that pan again. Gave it a little swish, and that's my rice. Now you want to make sure that you pre-cook your rice. Make sure your rice is al dente and not all the way cooked. Put it in the storage bag once it's cool and let it get cold. I usually cook it the day before because you do not want your rice hot. You do not want your rice room temperature. You want it cold, because if it's either or, your fried rice will be mushy. So now we're going to add our garlic butter in there. Give it a stir. And like I said before, in this wok, things move very fast. So 2 seconds of not watching it is 2 seconds of burnt food. Add a little garlic butter in there. Not garlic butter, ground garlic, and some ginger. Black pepper, and give it a stir. And y'all know what season coming next. Yep, you guessed it. Slap your mama, because that's what I do. Put some more adobo with cumin in there. That season, y'all, it may don't seem right, but it is. It's all the way right. Some garlic powder. And I put some garlic powder in there because I love the garlic fried rice that you get from Hibachi. And I just love garlic, so that's what I do. Stir that. Alright, now we're going to add our soy sauce. Give that a stir. And I had some Thai basil that I grew from my garden because I'm a boss like that. So I put a little Thai basil, and now I'm gonna add some sriracha for some spice. Now I don't put too much sriracha in mine because my family don't like spice. I do. So I just put a little bit for my good. Mix that up. Now, when y'all make this fried rice dish, you're gonna impress. If you got a boo thing, your friends, your family, this fried rice is what's it right here. And for me, I add a little sweet and sour sauce. Because if you think about it, when you get your fried rice from the places, you always add soy sauce and sweet and sour. So why not add it to your fried rice while you're cooking it? Well, at least I do. I don't know what y'all do at home. So if you don't like sweet and sour sauce, don't add it. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. Now I'm going to add my chicken. And also on the side, I had scrambled an egg. If you don't like eggs, you don't have to add it. Like I said before, it's your thing. Do what you want to do. A nice mix. And now you can see also, because I cooked my rice beforehand and it was cold when it went into the wok, my rice is not sticking, my rice is not clumping. They're individually grains. And we're going to add some fresh bean sprouts. And I always add this towards the end because I do not like my bean sprouts mushy. I kind of like a little crunch because they give it a nice little texture to the fried rice. So you want to add those towards the end of the cooking process for your fried rice. Give that a nice mix. Y'all, if y'all could smell how good this fried rice smell, y'all will never go back to hibachi. I'm telling you. And pay all that money for fried rice when you can make it at home. Well, we can't go to no place anyway because we got the quarantine. So make your hibachi at home. Just continue to stir that. And really, I cook those bean sprouts until they become translucent. Once they become kind of translucent, that's when I know that they're done enough for me. If you don't want your bean sprouts a little crunchy in your fried rice, cook it a little bit longer. That's okay. And so now on top, well, actually, I mix in a little green onions because I like some of them a little cooked in with that rice. So we're going to add in our chopped green onions. Give it a stir. And just because we fancy and this is what we do, we're going to add some chopped green onions on top to make it look real pretty. And people be like, "Ooh, dang, who made that?" And you be like, "Me." But that's really all. That's it. That's your fried rice.